Okie dokie, back we are. I reckon I got one more episode in me before I want to take a break for today. I'm not doing any more exploring for just minimal research data. Like, I think it's just time to get to the tower. No. Because, yeah, it's not letting me jump. Gotcha. Alright. So, go back to this one. Take it, flip it. There we go. Why did you have to rotate that one? That makes no sense to me. Ah. We have paintings. Somebody likes art. Oh. Pretty. Very up on this side? No. This side is blank. Alright, what have we got to work with here? I feel like that's a red herring. Start with that. Ah, no, that's not gonna work. I'm seeing what I was missing before now. The red line shows you where the next one's going to go. I get it now. To the temple. That's the tower, sorry, not the temple.
Halt, creature of clay. You have strayed from your garden and entered a domain that is beyond your ken. Turn back now, before you harm yourself and others.
We were invited here. Well, I'm pretty sure she knows that. She'd probably be the one that chained Prometheus. I know who she is, but let's ask anyway.
I am, like you, another lost child of Hephaestus in the kingdom of Artemis. But though I am lost, I know my purpose. To stand between you and the flame.
But we were invited here.
Prometheus had no authority to summon you. He is rash and foolish and given to trickery. But his schemes lead only to ruin. Therefore heed my warning. The flame is not for you.
And who are you to decide?
You speak in jest, as Prometheus is wont to, and like him, You're a fool.
Nah, I just don't take order who told me I can't do something without good reason.
How many of those bloody things are there?
I think that was Pandora, which matches the other one being Prometheus.
They seem to be locked in some kind of conflict.
Might be wise to avoid getting caught in the crossfire until we understand what these entities actually are.
Nah, crossfire away. Jump, jump, jump. Don't think jumping does anything. Hey, Byron. Yeah, put it away and turn and face me.
How can I help you?
What do you make of Pandora?
It's clear that there's some kind of antagonistic force in this place, something that doesn't want us to discover the purpose of the megastructure. Perhaps that's part of the testing. Or perhaps it's what's responsible for this state of decay.
What is the symbolic value of these entities we're encountering?
That's a good question. Prometheus is often taken to represent freedom and progress, the ideals of the radical enlightenment. Pandora, on the other hand, usually represents the dangers of those very ideals, so they're counterparts, in a way. And the Sphinx is a mystery.
Sphinx is
Does
a guardian.
that mean that these entities correspond to these concepts? Perhaps. They certainly seem to act like it. But Athena isn't the goddess of Athens, and I'm not Robert Byron, although those are the origins of our names. Where does myth end and history begin? We'll have to find out.
Okay. Is that a puzzle? Yeah, it's 2. Okay. Oh, I've got a question mark I missed. Hang on. Can't leave yet. It's likely just a terminal. You got something to say to me, you coot? No? Cool. It's up there. Okay, so hang a hard left. Oh. How did I miss this? Oh, thank God. No reading.
While exploring the forest, I came across a sight of primal force. A beautiful stag, standing on a hill silhouetted against the setting sun. It appeared like a messenger from some divine natural power, perhaps from Gaia herself. Even to a being such as myself, less susceptible to manipulation by instincts and hormones, it was clearly a moment of revelation. In such moments, we are told to avert our eyes. But what if we do not? What will we discover if we look more closely? If we could speak to the stag, what wisdom would it have to offer? The answer is none. The stag is an animal of overwhelming stupidity, driven only by fear, hunger, and lust. There is no abyss for us to plunge into behind this revelation. Rather, the revelation is as flat and unreal as the plywood walls of a film set.
I just wanted to see if that chasing the deer would do anything, especially when I heard him talk about a stag in the recording.
What can I do for you, 1K?
Tell me.
It's pretty clear to me that she doesn't want us to proceed with what we're doing. I find that deeply concerning. That said, there are clearly other forces at play here as well, so I'm trying my best to remain open to a more positive interpretation.
One of those beings did call us here after all.
Exactly. But we don't really understand anything yet, and this Prometheus is suspiciously absent, so I remain cautious.
I mean, there are some versions of Prometheus where he regrets giving fire to humanity after the punishment he's forced to endure, and grows to loathe humanity because of it. I think the more popular one is that he still is unrepentant about what he chose to do. Anyway, let's just be off. So I'm here. 8, 2, and 1. I wonder if that's going to change anytime soon.
1K brought up an interesting question earlier. Where did all the tech in the labs come from? So, I had a look at the serial numbers. And it turns out the answer is New Alexandria.
Oh.
Wow, I guess that makes sense. After the explosion, the colony was abandoned. Nobody ever went back for all that stuff.
We had enough to deal with. So many dead.
So that's one question answered. But how did they go from scavenged Alexandria tech to all this?
How did we go from nothing to where we are now? Through the application of reason and the right tools.
So what if some of them didn't die? What if none of them died and they all managed to be rebooted? Ooh. So this takes one light and ties it to another, right? Based on that little mini experiment we saw in the lab.
Look at the size of that structure.
How does the material support so much weight? Is it the same stuff as the other buildings?
Yeah. I know it looks like some type of concrete, but the molecular structure is completely different. Whatever it is, it's a lot stronger and less brittle.
Are the labs made out of the same material?
No, that's just ordinary concrete. Although it does have some molecular weirdness going on too. Too little variation in the grain.
Pardon me. I wonder if this water is too deep for me to run into. Fox! It is not.
Just
Hello.
when I thought we'd found all the weird stuff.
What are you staring at, buddy? Success. Miranda. From someone to someone. It worked. I made a statue. Well, it half worked. The design wasn't balanced, so it fell over and broke. It was very dramatic, but the good news is that it all works in principle. Imagine what we could do. Something using stone, something part of the environment, something. Miranda. And more from Trevor. Cool.
So, humanity is great. I really believe that. And that's why I'm here. But I have to be honest with you, individual people, not always my favorite. I'm not the smartest guy ever, and I know that. But there are some people, man, some people are just so dumb. I don't even know if they're actually conscious. Sometimes I think their whole lives might be like a dream. They're just stumbling around, no idea what's going on, mumbling some random nonsense. And the thing you have to understand about our time period is that a lot of these people wield enormous...
Oops. Let's get that playing again, shall we?
So, humanity is great. I really believe that. And that's why I'm here. But I have to be honest with you, individual people, not always my favorite. I'm not the smartest guy ever, and I know that. But there are some people, man, some people are just so dumb. I don't even know if they're actually conscious. Sometimes I think their whole lives might be like a dream. They're just stumbling around, no idea what's going on, mumbling some random nonsense. And the thing that you have to understand about our time period is that a lot of these people wield enormous power. They run whole countries and corporations. Yeah, that's right. We've handed over our civilization to people I wouldn't trust to tie their own shoelaces. And if they're dumb, then what are we? I don't honestly have an answer to that, so just please try to do better.
Well, from one body log to the next.
Let us consider the city. What is a city? It is not a gift from the gods, nor the product of nature. Unlike a mountain or a river, it is something that must be built through the deliberate arrangements of material by a mind imposing order on the world. And it is built to serve a purpose. To that end, it has roads and fountains and walls. And to the same end, it has laws and leaders. And though each city is built according to a different plan, all cities must serve their purpose, or they will fall and become ruins. Therefore, we may conclude that a city is also a kind of machine, constructed to improve the life of its citizens.
So far, I think all Stratons are still ones that we read in the beginning, in the first game. Is this where Miranda was building the statue?
I'm going to have a cat. He's going to be black and white, and his name is going to be Bean. And I'm going to make sure that he never gets sick, and he never gets old, and he'll be my best friend forever.
Now I kind of want to go back to the other ones and see if they talk to me now. Alright, what do we got? One's this way. I'm already at 2, so I might as well do that. I feel like these are going to be important. So I've probably got another Sphinx one going on. Energy maintenance. Inverter. Okay. Yeah. Alright. I need red and blue. So I see the red needs to come from you. Oh. Right. What if... Oh, I can just do it from here. Right? Then the red can go from there, but then he still need the blue. So what if I do this? And what if I do this? Then I could take that. And do that. I should have connected that to that first. Yeah. Oh no, I didn't need to. Cool. One down.
I think about New Alexandria all the time. But realizing this place was built on its bones just brings it all back even more. so optimistic when we started. So full of ourselves. We thought we could accomplish anything. And then, in one single moment, it was all gone. I remember a flash, and then just lying there, realizing that my legs had melted. I tried to pull myself away from the fire, but the servos in my arms were broken. If Eustathius hadn't found me... Sorry. Just some old scars.
Oh, Alcatraz was in New Alexandria. Interesting.
Yes?
Alright, Marvel, tell me about New Alexandria.
New Alexandria. What a mess. It was an attempt to start a new city, but it went about as sideways as it goes. Gas explosion, more than 30 dead, unrecoverable. Al was there for the whole thing.
But why would so much tech from New Alexandria be here?
Because the whole place was abandoned. Byron insisted that we had to rebuild, but for the survivors, it was just too traumatic to deal with. So I guess that stuff was just lying around for someone to pick up.
Or you abandoned them all thinking they were dead, and now they hold a grudge. Because that is a very human thing, to hold grudges. Alright, let's go to 1. Because 1 should be a very simple inverter teaching women. Ooh, you're cute. Nope, nothing new from you yet. Okay. Yep, inversion. That was simple. I don't need that one on anymore, to be honest, so I could just do this. And then we could do this. Release. Alright, 1 is done. Let's go to 3. Once we hit 3, we can also do that question mark over there. I'm going to try and do less exploring and more getting through the game. For the moment. Maybe we'll do a bit of both, because I do realize I still need to go find the bonus stuff. Let's get some reading going. Actually no, I'll do it afterwards and I'll go out that way first. Alright. There and back again. I need a green. I have red. I do that, that gets me that, but that doesn't really help. I think what I need to do is like put it here so that I could use this. Oh no, I get it. I set that up. So now I can take that. And then I can take that. We can do that. Get my converter. I need both red and blue to make the green. No, I don't even need that anymore. I just need this here like that. Probably put this one here. Like that. Oop. No. Okay. Let's take that one. Let's convert you to blue so we can take this one. We grab a red, we drop it here. We drop this to get that. There we go. Yeah, really not that hard when you think about it. Now, I'm just gonna go this way and then further back out. Founding 3. Hypatia's Founding Journals. Day 42. We broke ground on the first of the permanent structures today. A large hall that will eventually be converted into a performance and exhibition space. My idea! Although for now we'll use it as a workshop. It's strange, this place. There's a lot of open space, and I didn't think that I would find it so unusual. But I suppose we all spent more time at the dam than was originally planned, and now it's difficult to get used to not having that low ceiling over our heads. It's probably just me. Byron loves being outside and is always volunteering for scavenging missions. Lifthresier usually tags along, although he seems more fascinated with observing nature and various weird creatures. At night, I sometimes catch myself standing by the door, not because I have guard duty, just watching the stars. It's oddly comforting to think that they've always been there, that they watched our ancestors standing where I now stand. Message fragment 5358 from Rianda to them. We finished setting up the external side of the lake. The area is so stunning, we forgot about the experiment for a while and went for a long walk. The ways in which all the different aspects of nature interact with each other are endlessly fascinating to me, and the sheer variety of living things, even on a simple green meadow. Sadly, we then stumbled onto the carcass of a deer that had been torn apart by wolves. It must have suffered enormously, and thinking about that made me feel truly terrible. There is so much pain in nature. And Ecosystem Engineers by Anthony Castor. Cutting down swaths of trees for their building projects, thoughtlessly causing radical changes to large environments and forcing local species to adapt to their artificial habitats. These are the traits of a species of intelligent, industrious, and extremely impactful ecosystem engineers. Humans? No, I'm talking about beavers. Like us, beavers transform their environments via building, and their actions have real consequences, creating vast wetlands that some species thrive in, while others die. Human activity is very similar. We too are ecosystem engineers, and we too benefit some species while harming others. Everything about this is completely natural, including the damage to other species. After all, that's what competition and evolution is all about. Those species that adapt to the ecosystems we create will, over the coming millennia, become the core of a new biodiversity. And so evolution runs its course. If we don't like the result, if we think some species should be preserved despite being outcompeted, well, that's anything but natural. It is, however, very human. Miranda. It's fascinating how so much of what we do is common in animals, but furthered enormously by our intelligence and our ability to remember. Through us, the universe strives to a greater level of complexity. But does the universe have the capacity to strive for anything? We must be careful to avoid projecting human values onto the cosmos. Miranda sounds very young, like full of hope. Some would say naive. I don't particularly have a thought about it either way. Oh, get another question mark over here. Also got 4 up there. Okay. Ooh, Byron. I got more to talk to you about, apparently.
How can I help you?
Alexandria?
We made 2 fatal mistakes in New Alexandria. One was trusting the texts of our ancestors without thinking for ourselves. The other was giving up instead of doubling down, letting the tragedy define our future.
Yeah, that's one way to look at it. Right, 2 question marks over here. Got this, which is obviously the Sphinx. So it's behind the statue. Okay. Is there anything else hidden in here? No, it's just an open type labyrinth. Gotcha. Now let's go back this way then. Alright, 4. What do you got? Refraction. Alright, well, blue makes red with this thing, so... I can then change it back if I so wish. So red would make blue, then that would turn it back to red, so that's not enough. Okay. Let's just set that up for now, I guess. I need some way of doing it. Hang on. There we go. Because then I can take this one. We can now make that red. We can now make this blue. Just have a quick check of the time again. It seems to be going fine. I'm going to go have a look now at what the Sphinx one was pointing at. The statue is off to this way. Somewhat. Those inversions is number 1. And you go back up. It was like here? Somewhere like here-ish, I think. It's like a hidden switch somewhere. Yeah, Yes. Okay, cool. Now let's head back to where I was. We get to get to the star. And then to that question mark. Was there not another question mark further? Or else just imagining things? I've just been imagining things. But from now on, I'm also definitely going to start missing all the extra stuff. And that's okay.
The wheel turns, but without the road, it cannot move.
Now, is this another terminal up here? No, we have the first of the optionals. You are called transposition. Oh wow, okay. So you turn things red. And I can't get you to both that and that. Hit that up and gets me this. Which does give me the red. No, it doesn't. Damn. Actually, it does. Because I can stretch this over here, I reckon. And I might just be able to see... No. No, no, no. Okay. What am I missing? I need to get to that one, which means I need this. Oh, I know what I'm doing wrong. Break up the steps. Now I can get that out. That just lets me pull things from there to there. Where was the, other thing I was supposed to look through? Was there something else I was supposed to look through? Maybe not. Was I supposed to get this one over there, maybe? Actually, I think I know what it is. I'm supposed to use that to not bring things through, but to power it. Yes, that's that. Then if I go back through, we can move this. Yep. Is that hitting? It is. Cool. Oh, and I need blue. What? So no, I need the blue here. So I do need this on this side. Never mind. It's the other way around. Blue goes here, red goes there. Or inverter goes there. Because this needs to hit both. Probably bring it a little bit closer. That's as close as I can bring it, more than likely, which is fine. And then I need this to hit there. So we can do that. It powers itself. Power that again. And voila. Alright, that wasn't too bad.
I sent the drone to have a look at one of the other puzzle clusters. It seems they remain inert until they're connected. I uploaded the pictures to the log.
Should we check them out with the VTOL?
Let's conserve fuel as much as we can. There's no point in going there if it's all dead.
How happy a thought that is. Anyway, drone data from north of the island. I sent the drone to have a look at another puzzle cluster, but it seems they remain inactive until someone gets there, or until the transport system goes online. Interesting. Taking a reference photo in case one figures that out later, which I did. Cool. Alright, cat sitting advice. Pellegrino. So I'm cat sitting Yakut's cat, Bruce, and he keeps peeing on my charging pod. Is there anything I can do to prevent this? Atal. Clean it very thoroughly so not a single trace of smell remains. I know it's hard without the ability to smell, but we do have some cleaning agents that should do the trick. Contact me in private if you need a list. Oh, and make sure Bruce isn't distressed by something. Cats don't like being moved from their territory. Maybe it would be easy if you just moved him back to Yakut's place and fed him there. Yakut. No, Bruce is just a bastard. He loves peeing on anything electrical, chewing on cables, and generally just breaking stuff. This is normal, and I warned you, Pellegrino. I could have given him to Neith. She's used to him. Pellegrino, but he's so fuzzy and I love him. Atal. Ah, cats. Places of longing. Paris. Athelvok. Paris was an ancient city sometimes called the City of Light, one of the great capitals of the world, home to tradition and innovation alike. It was the birthplace of one of the greatest revolutions in history, the moment that gave birth to modernity and all its glories and horrors alike. The spirit of freedom that was born here, although it was suppressed by enemies and traitors, never entirely faded, and it lived on in the minds of artists for many generations. Maybe something of that spirit still remains in us. Alright. And we're approaching time, that's fine. Let's see how much more I can get done in that short period. That's the last star. And it's a Pandora, so I need a light. More talking. Here we go. Oh no. Lithas are good.
The rotting remains of the old world should fill me with melancholy. Even here on this remote island, our ancestors could not escape their fate. And yet, I find there is something pathetic about these ruins that evokes anger and even contempt. is a mistake to accept this catastrophe with equanimity. What we see here should offend us. When witnessing this triumph of entropy, we should aspire to a warrior spirit. Even a kind of hate of the past and its failures that will never allow such a thing to happen again.
Alright. The title of this puzzle is called Hidden, which makes me think it is, yes, hidden, because we need to get the green to there. What else do I have? I have a red-blue converter. I need 2 items here. Oh, and that's it. So I can't get green from here. Oh no, it's gonna be blue. Hang on. So connect that. It's now connecting itself. So we can now do this to connect itself. And we can take this one back. And convert this to red. Oh. Again. Do it that way so it helps itself out. And we can now grab this. And voila. So maybe 6 isn't where we get the answer. It does say hidden though, so maybe there's a hidden converter in here? No? Then how do I get that? So another puzzle over here that's like so far away. Because that's the box. That's the Sphinx. The only other puzzle in this area was down there. Oh, I found a flame though. That's right, I gotta find another flame here as well. So there's 2 flames per area, I believe. At least I'm assuming, because the last 2 only had 2 that I found. That seems important. Maybe. Maybe. Is there anything hidden in these trees? No, it's just that. Okay. It has to be from this side. But maybe it's a multi-puzzle thing. Let's look at 7 and see what we can get. Oh, we got another one of those. So first we got the name, backward propagation, cool. We shall go grab this so I don't have to talk for a little bit. And we're good.
There's so much to discover on this island that sometimes it overwhelms me. Every lake, every forest contains an incredible, interconnected, permanently changing network of organisms. And every one of those organisms is almost infinitely complex and contains other organisms within itself. It seems impossible to ever really grasp. But then, step by step, I do understand. It takes time and effort, but it's not impossible. And there's a lot of joy to be found in simply taking the time to truly study something. I spent 5 years studying a single flower, and it never got boring.
Turns it red. So I could get that turned on. I won't be able to keep it on. Is there something I'm missing? Because obviously red can't do it to blue. Like it's too far away to hit anything. And that blocks it off. Oh, I think I know. Hang on. Should also connect that to that to keep itself on. So we do that, hit it there, it's on. So then we can do this and run in. And now it's shooting red. And we can do blue. And it's keeping itself on. Cool.
I can't even get my brain to think like that.
I can hit something up there. So that's blue. I'll probably get red up there too, but I'll start with blue because it's the harder one to sort out. And that shunts it all the way over there. Time. Look, I might have enough time to finish puzzle 8. I don't know if I'll have enough time to get the star done this time. Positional interchange. Okay, so we got that there. This is keeping itself in. I could connect it to that. Which means I can connect this to this and get the box up. Which doesn't do much for me, I guess. I feel like that's supposed to work. But it's okay, because I can do that. Yep. And if I wanted to, I could also do this. And with that, I need red and blue. The blue does not hit from there. Red does, though. You to there. Keep that there. And then I could box that as well. It's a box of blue. We should do that. Alright. There we go. And I reckon that might be all of our time. Yeah, don't have a whole lot left. I might have enough to go look at where this light is going and what it's doing, and then call it from there. Actually going a decent fair way away too. Okay, it's down there, then it goes across here because I can see it. Don't tell me it had to be red. Because that shoots it into here. Hang on. There and back. Nope, I figured it out. It's the other way around. I need to get rid of the blue. Oh, I'll probably set that up for the next episode. Thanks. Actually, no, this one I'll have a bit of a longer one. It's fine. Don't have to stick to my hour limit. So we have that connected in, but we need to swap it around to the opposite. Which is fine. I can also check out these question marks while I'm on the way. There's one here. That I came to the very opposite side of, apparently. Pre-connected. Oh, I need this. Thank you very much. That doesn't mean anything. I can bring this to the other side. What's in there? Purple. That's fine. Sit there for now. didn't even do that properly, did I? Just not good enough to do that, which means I need to do it there too. Hit that, come around, wait for it, cool. Oh yeah, let me grab this first. I see. Or do I? So I could also do it from this angle. Interesting. What if I were to connect it there like that? Hit there. That's only blocked by the wall there, which means I can now do that. And I can do that from over here. Then that. Pretty sure there's another way to do it, but I did it this way. Like it feels like there's a way to get this in here somehow. But it's fine, we did it. Next. Back to what I was doing. Oh, distracted. Question mark. Lab.
Every site we've investigated has had one of these labs, but they seem primitive compared to some of the technology we're seeing above ground.
Are we even sure that the labs and the puzzles belong to the same people?
There seems to be a connection between the experimental setups in the labs and some of the puzzle technology.
Correlation does not necessarily imply causation, though.
True. But just because we don't understand the connection, that doesn't mean it's not there. What we have here is two things that reflect each other. We just don't understand how that reflection works or what causes it.
Maybe Miranda can tell us.
Interesting. The end. Draft. Lefemi Kaneda. After a lifetime dedicated to the written word, I'm faced with a task that I could never have expected. Writing an epitaph not only for myself, but for my species. In the unlikely event that Alexandra Drennan is successful, and one day someone reads this, what meaningful insights can I share into this strange phenomenon that is humanity? I've spent days thinking about it, but now I'm running out of time. So I'll set down the one thought that I simply can't shake. It didn't have to be this way. With more time, we could have found a cure. With a few political victories, we could have been prepared. Change any factor, even by a little, and we could have made it. We would have made it. This isn't divine punishment, it's just dumb luck. I'm reaching for something here, but I don't know what it is. Forgiveness? Grace? Acceptance? No. I hate the idea of accepting this. Hope, maybe. I feel like this story is unfinished. Maybe it should be. No epitaph for humanity. I pray Drennan's right. Miranda, it didn't have to be this way. Failed. And yet it was. Failed to load comment from failed to load profile. Charon. Lord Dunsany from 51 Tales. Charon leaned forward and rode. All things were one with his weariness. It was not with him a matter of years. It was not with him a matter of years or of centuries, but of wide floods of time, and an old heaviness and a pain in the arms that had become for him part of the scheme that the gods had made and was a piece with eternity. If the gods had even sent him a contrary wind, it would have divided all time in his memory into two equal slabs. So grey were all things always where he was, that if any radiance lingered a moment among the dead, on the face of such a queen perhaps as Cleopatra, his eyes could not have perceived it. It was strange that the dead nowadays were coming in such numbers. They were coming in thousands where they used to come in 50s. It was neither Charon's duty nor his wont to ponder in his grey soul why these things might be. Charon leaned forward and rode. Then no one came for a while. It was not usual for the gods to send no one down from earth for such a space, but the gods knew best. Then one man came alone, and the little shade sat shivering on a lonely beach, and the great boat pushed off. Only one passenger. The gods knew best. And great and weary Charon rode on and on beside the little, silent, shivering ghost. And the sound of the river was like a mighty sigh that grief in the beginning had sighed among her sisters, and that could not die like the echoes of human sorrow failing on earthly hills, but was as old as time and the pain in Charon's arms. Then the boat from the slow grey river loomed up to the coast of Dis, and the little silent shade, still shivering, stepped ashore, and Charon turned the boat to go wearily back to the world. Then the little shadow spoke. That had been a man. "I am the last," he said. No one had ever made Charon smile before. No one before had ever made him weep. Miranda, there's an obvious and perhaps intended interpretation that this is the end of humanity, and the last shadow is the last human to live. But another interpretation is equally possible, that humanity has achieved immortality, and the last shadow is the last human to die. I prefer the latter. Of course you do, Miranda. Name of Project 4. Trial 803 is unsuccessful. Well, version 0.08 is unsuccessful. Same problem as with Trial 108. Repeated all calculations. Same result. Weird. Trials 804 to 891. Experiment modified to gain further insights into unexpected error. Inconsistent results. Trials 892 to 937. Simultaneous trials affecting each other via unknown mechanism. What is going on here? Okay. No schematics this time. Creepy sound effect. Cool. And this is what we're doing. Take this one out, swap it over with the green that we get from it. Oh no, we don't even do this one. We just need to get rid of the blue. Because now we go back to 6 and use the green from that tower to power that. And then I'm going to call it for now. Because at this point we're like 10 minutes over, I reckon. I'm guessing. We shall see. We shall see. Where's my stuff? Over here. I need grün and grün. So I would like to once again thank everyone for joining me on this journey. Next time we shall finish off this island and go to the next, or this part of the island and go to the next. So I shall see you in the next one. Ciao.
False idols are worshipped not because they are idols, but because they are false. True idols are rejected because the truth is feared.